Welcome to Heal into Happy. I invite you to take an adventure with me into your very own universe as I guide you to go within, release your fears, and become empowered to create a life you love. I am your host, Lark Allen. My intention is to help you shine a light on everything that is keeping you from being truly free. You can expect this healing journey to be filled with love, laughter, clarity, and fun. Are you ready to take a leap of faith? Let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited that I am winding up season 2 of Co-Creating Heaven on Earth and all of the interviews that I've been doing with somebody that is so near and dear to my heart. I remember when I was meeting you for the first time, and our kids go to the same school, and Wannessa has taken over aftercare that I was doing as well. And I just was like walking across, and I just felt this soul remembrance of just knowing you and loving you and having lifetimes together. And it was so beautiful. And I was like, I got a little teary, but I was like, well, let's just let this human interaction, transpire. And then I was able to find out that she felt the same way. And it's just so beautiful. So let me officially introduce you, Wannessa, and I can't wait to dive into all of the things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's so amazing when when you meet someone, it hasn't happened very often for me, where there's just this comfort, like a coming home, this recognition. And
yes.
Oh my goodness. And then when we started talking, and we're just talking the same language, and it's so freeing too, because it's almost like this. It's interesting that I'm bringing up water because of our pre-conversation, and you can mention that, but
yeah,
it feels so freeing, like a flow, like a river just starts to flow out when you can just share what you are connected with your heart.
Yes.
And it's just, beautiful.
So beautiful. All right. So that everybody can get caught up with how amazing you are, I'm just going to share your bio really quick. Wannessa Badger is the creator of the Self-Healing School, a sacred learning space offering self-healing courses complemented with coaching and community. Her foundational course, Miracle Grow, I love that name, by the way, is a guided journey for survivors of adverse childhood experiences to break free of self-doubt, self-blame, self-rejection, and the resulting self-sabotage with the power of true self-love at the subconscious level, transforming the energetics of one's inner being and the story of their lives. Having survived childhood trauma and pediatric kidney disease, Wannessa's self-healing journey led her to explore and discover the healing powers of energetics, psychology, neuroscience, and community. She has a degree in child development and family studies, as well as certifications as an AWAKE Integrative Energy Practitioner and Mindset Transformation Coach. You can find her at www.wannessabadger.com. And all of this will also be in the show notes. Definitely find her, seek her out. She is so amazing. Welcome, 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 Wannessa. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's fun to connect, and to share my heart and where I'm at on my journey. So hearing all that, I'm like, oh my goodness, it feels so good. Miracle Grow, you mentioned you like the name of that title. It came to me because I channeled this course, and it was a long time coming. I was putting together pieces for about a year and a half. And this past January, I decided to offer it to a group of women. I went in thinking I had it figured out and I was going to teach this. And then I had this, I guess I got pulled to a stop, and I had to realize, why am I feeling overwhelmed? And so I prayed and I meditated and received that everything that I had built up and, preparing for that, they enhanced the course, but the truth that I was meant to share was already residing within my soul. And so I had to sink into that and then just allow myself to flow. And everything came so effortlessly, and it flowed, and the pieces were coming together. It was so fun. Fast forward to recently, I had different titles for the course, but it wasn't when you love to align and the feeling of alignment and the power of our words, you know how important it is to when we name something and we connect to it energetically and our heart connects to it. So I wasn't feeling that quite yet, but I kept trusting the process. And I channeled this beautiful process for this course, Miracle Grow. And it has all to do with taking a look at the landscape of our minds. And there's energetics involved with it, of course. But I asked Jesus, I'm like, Jesus, help me. I know that you're so involved in this. Help me come up with a name. What is the name? And I heard this like miracle love. So I thought, oh, the miracle of love. And then I got this feeling like play with that. And then Miracle Grow hit me and I started laughing and I felt like Jesus was laughing with me. We were just like chuckling together like, oh my gosh, that's so good. So I feel really giddy about that title. So thanks for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing. It's definitely divinely orchestrated and your higher self that is already living in a distant future. Like that was a major integration and a huge spurring on for you, like a remembering. Like you got an upgrade because you trusted your intuition. You were supposed to go more from the remembrance from your soul, what you put down maybe as human Wannessa. I feel that really deeply.
Oh my goodness. That's so beautifully put. It just resonates so clearly. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
It
So
really was.
before our call, Wannessa and I were like having this amazing conversation. And I was like, wait, stop. We have to record this. So I had this huge cliffhanger happening. But I just, I was outside doing my circle of empowerment as I always do when I know I'm recording a podcast, and Kuan Yin came in so much. And so I was sharing that with Wannessa before. And I always open up the Sophia code before I'm about to start a podcast because it's, information if I'm recording on my own that's meant for me to know and feel into. And if it's me and a guest, then it's for both of us. And the most beautiful page that I opened up to intuitively, and if any of my listeners are tuned into the Sophia code, page 256, and it's exactly when we are from our human self dropping into our child, our inner child, which is what Wannessa is all about healing. So it just like gives me full body chills that's the page that I opened up to. And then there's fireflies and a beautiful weeping willow, which is something that I've been like feeling into in the human part of me lately about how healing and magical those two things are. And we get to meet Kuan Yin for the first time in the book. And so it's just like, I can't stop having full body chills because I just know that when you get activated with the Sophia code and that Kuan Yin chapter 11, oh my gosh, like she's working with you so much. Do you already feel her presence a lot? I'm so curious.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've got major chills. I feel like she's been with me and it's going to be really an amazing experience to have it formalized and integrate those parts of my being and my mind to bring that together. As you know, I'm not there yet in the book.
Yeah. I just wondered if like before this book, like had you felt her presence because she's been with you so much.
Oh, yes. I'm getting emotional. I just feel her love so much right now.
Yeah.
For those that are listening, I was introduced to the Sophia Code after talking with Lark weeks ago, and we're having this great conversation, just totally transparent. We're talking about, frequency and love and raising consciousness and just so much fun in the conversation. Astrological chart, human design, just going on. Yeah. And then she mentions the Sophia Code, and I instantly wanted to know more about the Sophia codes. And so she told me about it, and I immediately that night purchased the book, and I did the digital version so that I could have access to it right away. And so I paced myself and I went through, I thought I was going to read this book over the course of a week or even faster. I tend to go through books pretty quickly if, the content is easily digestible and can be integrated pretty quickly. Now, the Sophia codes for me, it needed more time. It needed to have a beautiful pace. It needed to integrate and allow itself to unfold and blossom for me. And so even though I had intention to read through it right away, I immediately realized, oh, this is really powerful. And my soul and my mind is going to need to pace itself. And So I went through Sophia Code, the initiation, Sophia Code number 1 and the initiation there. And I was telling Lark, my body was vibrating as I was reading it out loud. And it was remarkable. Now, I am very big on my soul is all, yes, it really is so drawn to the inner child healing and very much connected to my own journey. But there's also a part of me that's very much the love warrior and that knows that this work is about breaking generational trauma and generational programming and breaking us free from false beliefs and constructs that are not allowing us to shine our light. And as I was reading this initiation, oh my goodness, the power of the words in breaking these constructs and these belief systems that were created to keep us small and to keep us limited and keep us confused and keep us scared. And as I was going through it, that's why I was vibrating. It was almost like the energy was being pulled out of my DNA. And it was just dissipating. It was just coming out and evaporating, being pulled out by the energies. And it was really just magnificent. And as I concluded, I realized, okay, I'm going to need to sit with this for a little bit. I'm going to need to let this integrate. I'm an experimenter. So I love taking information ever since I was little. Like I started with energetics when I was little. I loved going to the bookstore and going to the self-help section, and I'd find like books on energy and being an empath. And so I would experiment with it because I was very sensitive. I could feel everything. And I'm like, why am I feeling this? And it wasn't, here's the thing is it's interesting because there was a remembrance that I brought into this lifetime. It was that I didn't want to shut it off. I didn't want to turn it off. I felt like it was a power and it was something that I enjoyed, but I wanted to learn how to be able to still be of service without taking on other people's energy, being able to sense, but keeping it separate. So I started experimenting with meditation and creating shields and grounding myself. And my mother is one of my greatest teachers. She's like who I experimented a lot with. And I love her. And I know that we had our soul contract together, but I feel like I'm experimenting with what has integrated and how it's felt since the initiation. And wow, the simplest way I can put it is we have our inner dialogue that is continuously going, right? 95% of our mind is non-conscious. And so we can have these inner conflicts and we can be consciously thinking, I want to do this. I want to change that. I am going to grow. I am no longer going to let that control me or have power over me. And yet we have this conscious intention, and subconsciously we can feel it in our body that there is this inner war in a way. And we wonder, why isn't this working? Why isn't it proceeding? Why can't I just break free of this? And there are ways to create that liberation, of course, from limiting beliefs. But what's interesting is that what was channeled through the initiation were so much deeper and global belief systems that were cleared. And as I've been journeying along, I have to say simply that there isn't that inner conflict. There isn't that inner war. There isn't that inner fight or battle to want to stick with the light and the truth. It's almost like the fears, that old belief system is just gone. I have been growing and breaking free from a lot of generational ancestral falsehoods my entire life. And now it feels like, wow, I didn't have to fight for it. It was like this initiation just did it. It feels so nice. It's like walking through a meadow and just...
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the best way I can put it.
It's so beautiful. And that's how I felt too. And going through the Sophia Circle Leadership Program, hearing other people kind of saying the same thing is such a confirmation of how powerful it is and how, it's like the Ascended Masters and us on our highest version level are all like sitting around a campfire and we're all besties. And they all want to help us integrate that knowing and help us open up to that remembrance while we're a human, because they're celebrating us here being in human physical form, walking through this density that we're not, we can't always feel it. And these initiations and activations are helping us be able to fully connect to that higher self and to have these mentor friends surrounding us all the time so that we can do what we came here to do, which is anchor in Christ consciousness and heal and help others heal. And it's like, we're just walking each other home to this knowing. And it doesn't have to be hard anymore. And so this book was channeled to give us that access and to help us not have to have that subconscious, like that inner war or whatever that happens that keeps us playing small. It's like it just goes back up to God's source energy, Sophia, Mother, Father, God, whatever that higher is for, all of the listeners, that they feel comfortable with whatever that name is, just that divine love moving through us and just taking away all of that makes us think we couldn't or shouldn't feel into our divinity and walk with our Christed light fully on like a lightning bug, lighting up the path for everyone.
Oh, yes. That light, that analogy and what you were saying right now is so deeply connected to my soul, the concept of light. When I was a little girl, I was about 10 years old when I had my first spiritual awakening. And I just remember thinking there's a song in the church that I learned, and it was, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
Let it shine.
Yes. And
love it.
It was a song that I would sing in order to acknowledge that the things that happen in this earthly realm and with my physical body can never touch the purity of my soul, and that I have a light that they're never going to put out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's been my journey, is just to continue letting my light shine. And just like a candle, when one candle lights up, it can light up 1,000 more candles. And that's what I hope to be a part of, is just, like you lit my candle up even brighter with sharing the Sophia code. And now I want to share that. And that's very meaningful to me.
Yeah, I could totally see you after you digest the whole book, and just, you would be such an amazing Sophia Circle leader. And that be maybe something that we could do in the future. I've definitely seen some visions of that, how beautiful it would be. And we're both on the same path. We've both had trauma as children. And, to me, I feel like I put that in my plan so that I could fulfill my mission of helping others heal from childhood trauma, because so many people get stuck there and that's it, and that's just where they play for their whole lifetime. And so we came to be change makers and to light up the path to help others let that go, love that about themselves, and realize that they went through it to get activated and to help others too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I definitely, it took work to get to that point, because I had to work through the human emotions to arrive to that clearing. And I realized that my mother, having had a very traumatic childhood and life, and just very hard life, and she's still stuck there. And she's still really, yeah. And I had to let go then of the feeling responsible to do that work for her, or to teach her, and realizing that it's her own journey. And that really helped me understand what unconditional love is when we unconditionally love someone, we don't try to control their journey. We do not try to fix their journey. We allow them to learn the lessons that they're meant to learn.
Yeah, I totally am in alignment with that. Absolutely. Loving people where they're at, and, people that are magnetized to our message and that are ready to go deeper and to have a community that sees them, supports them, and is just a sacred witness to their healing is, what both of us are about. And, I love that people will come and find this message. Like, it's what we're saying right now is going up into the organic collective consciousness right now. And who's ready to receive it is already receiving it before this podcast even goes out, which I just find so multidimensional and cool. And then other people will hear it when it launches this Sunday. And then other people will hear it like 5 years from now when it's their time to hear it, and they're ready to receive it and they're ready to go on that journey. And I find it all so magical, lovely, and amazing. So I also wanted to tell the listeners, one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on is I went to an herbal course that Wannessa was the lead on, and I walked in all flustered. I was late and I got lost, and her energy was so beautiful and just brought me down and let me know that it was divine timing and that, other people needed time to acclimate and anchor into the moment. And then she led us through a beautiful guided meditation, and she helped us feel into intuitively picking herbs and then, smelling them, looking at them, and then teaching us about them. And I just found that to be so beautiful. And I just had to share Wannessa with all of you. And she's going to close us out with a beautiful guided meditation that is channeled through her higher self to us. And I feel like it's such a big gift. And it's also, proof of, as I'm closing up this season of co-creating heaven on earth, the more that I've been co-creating and anchoring things in with all of the people that I've been interviewing, it's been so amazing how my life has been shifting, where I'm finding, my soul family, and I'm finding other people that I get to physically get to see and hug and touch, and that are here doing the work and helping anchor in Christ consciousness and co-creating heaven on earth. And, we're just like intuitively able to communicate. And, I feel like telepathic powers are being turned on, and I'm so excited to see what comes through.
Oh, yes. I had so much fun with that class, and it was all beautifully paced. And it was, again, I'm finding that letting go, because I am a studier, but before we all came together, I did a prayer and I just kind of let things go and just let things flow. And I was so grateful for that. It's just as much as we share medicine, it's medicine that we receive as well.
Right. It's so true.
I am so grateful I get to share this beautiful meditation with everyone. It's a combination of meditations that I discovered along my journey that really supported me and anchored me and gave me clarity. So I want you to, as we're going through this meditation, realize that we're going to go through different layers of yourself and identifying those layers and arrive to a place where you're really connected with who you are, just connecting with the soul. And this is a great meditation to just really clear yourself when you're about to enter into a situation or enter somewhere where might distract you, or there might be a lot of energies and personalities that can trigger you. This is also a really great meditation to do every week, just to check in with your soul, to really sink into that knowing, sink into that depth. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and sit comfortably. Uncross your legs, uncross your arms. Allow yourself to be open to receive. If you're able to, put your feet on the ground. I want you to imagine that growing out of your feet are roots, like a tree. You feel your feet on the ground. You feel you're supported. You feel the energy of Mother Earth. And these roots grow 1, 3, 5, 10 feet down. Breathe in. Feel grounded into Mother Earth. Now up above you is a beautiful golden light shining up. You can look up at it if you'd like and experience it raining down on you, shining down on you, and shining on your ajna, your third eye. And then sit upright and let that golden, beautiful light to shine through your crown chakra. And like golden nectar, let it to permeate and sink through into your face and your neck, your shoulders, down your chest. And as it's working its way, filling your entire energetic body, you feel every part of your being, and your physical body is relaxing as this nectar, divine, benevolent energy moves its way down your legs, through the ankles, through the feet, down through the roots. Take a nice cleansing breath here. Enjoying this being away from the doing, enjoying just being. Now, in your mind's eye, right between your eyebrows, I want you to envision yourself. I want you to see yourself in present day. Look at him or her. Look at yourself. Allow yourself to come into focus, seeing the details. And while looking at yourself, this image, I want you to acknowledge this sentence. I am, and I want you to fill that sentence with your first and last name. I am. Fill in that blank and look at yourself and acknowledge what are the responsibilities of this individual you're looking at, yourself, with the first and last name. What are her or his fears, dreams, duties? What are the roles that are being played on a daily life? Maybe you sense energies around this image of yourself. Maybe you see pictures of family or dwellings, work. Now, with love in your heart, I want you to now, with intention, look at this version of yourself with eyes of love. Shift out the lens and then smile and witness yourself smiling, acknowledging the strength, the beauty, the resilience, the faith. And with love in your heart and love in your eyes, witness this image fade away. Now, I want you to think of the sentence, I am, and just your first name. Say it to yourself, I am, and your first name. And now I want you to envision in your third eye, in your mind's eye, yourself as a younger version of yourself, a younger boy, younger girl. Allow that image to come into focus and ask yourself, what age is she or he? Ask yourself, what are her or his challenges? What were the fears? What were the responsibilities? What were the burdens? What was she or he having to navigate at this time? How is she or he being strong? What lights this child up? Witness it all the elements and the nuances of this time in timehood. Now, with love in your eyes, look at her or him with eyes of love. Allow your heart to shine a green light bursting out of your heart. Smile at her or him. Acknowledge your love, your respect, your appreciation, your encouragement. You're so proud of this child and what she or he was able to overcome, accomplish, and acknowledging the hard parts as well. And in your mind's eye, allow this image of your younger self to fade away. Take a nice deep breath. Now, I want you to think of the words, I am. Breathe into that. You might be feeling yourself becoming aware of your body a bit more, feeling the energetics of gravity in your physical body, feeling the I am, having released these images in your timeline of yourself, going inward. I am. Keep breathing. Do you feel that stillness? Do you feel any sensations in your body? If you feel any tension, take a deep breath and breathe that oxygen with intention to that space. I am. And as we go a little bit deeper, our soul, sometimes, more times, oftentimes, maybe all times, may not be able to find appropriate words to equate to what is felt or known. And with that being said, let go of the concept of I am. Release that. Allow that to float away. And I'm going to make a sound. And I want you to just connect with that sound and allow yourself to release deeper into this present moment, into your being. One more time, a little bit lower. Oh. Breathing in, feeling just peace. In this place of peace, there are no worries, there are no judgments, there are no expectations. It is as it is. And when you're ready, you can start to wiggle your toes or your fingers. You can sway your body a little bit, roll your neck. Acknowledge where you might feel heat. I'm feeling heat in the back of my heart chakra. So my upper back. And I feel really nice. I hope you feel really nice too.
Oh my goodness. That was such a gift. That was so beautiful.
I'm glad to hear that. It was a gift to share it.
Yeah, it was just so. I just bought a book about the vagus nerve and saying Om and it activating that part of ourselves that does like self-healing that oftentimes we have blocks. I haven't read anything in the book. I just intuitively opened it like I do with new books that I've just received. And it opened up to that page about chanting and saying Om and how healing it is. And so you had that in the meditation. And Stella and I were just doing a lot of sound, like Oming yesterday together. And it just felt like we were like beyond human, like the things that were coming through us. I was like, that's like our galactic selves coming through. So
yes,
that was a beautiful confirmation with your meditation to just be really oming it up right now. And I invite all of the listeners to Heal into Happy to just Om. It's so grounding. At the same time, it's also elevating us up into the seventh plane where instantaneous miracles abound. Like there's so much veil being cleared out and we're just so connected. And I just feel that so strongly that, just it's just clearing out our throat chakras and just doing so much. And you just brought that through so clearly and beautifully.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, it feels so good to and it feels great to hear it too. I remember when I was pregnant with Wesley, I was going to a lot of pranic healing meditations, twin heart meditations, and the oming, I had to be careful actually because it's so powerful. The energy of oming and how deep you can go in your meditation. And I had to tread carefully. And there was actually, because I've been meditating for a very long time, I was able to be all right. But there was one time where I was closer towards the end of my pregnancy and it was too much. I couldn't keep myself grounded and I had to step away and just enjoy, like even just opening my eyes and stepping away out of the circle. I was still able to listen to the ohms without the energy of it pulsating through my entire body. So I mention this also because if you are pregnant, you want to be careful with actually ohming and listening to ohms, and you can Google, and I'm sorry, I'm not able to share more about the science behind that or the energetic science behind that. But I remember learning that firsthand and learning that from my teacher as well.
Oh, wow. I'm almost feeling into it potentially being like it could rupture your membranes or something. Like it could be that intense, maybe. I don't know. Like, wow.
Yeah. And also, like when we're pregnant, our lower chakras expand a lot. They expand. And so perhaps it maybe creates an imbalance when you're oming and you're opening up your higher chakras, that maybe it creates an imbalance and it's hard to, I'm not sure, but I remember feeling like, oh my goodness, I am about to pass out. I got to step out of the circle, which took a lot for me because I love to be in that space and I love to be deep with that.
Well, I'm celebrating your mama intuition. It was like, just completely was like, nope, I've got to remove myself. And, that's a beautiful remembrance too, that must have needed to come through to really trust our own intuition and our own internal guidance. And, I always tell my listeners, please take what resonates and, leave behind anything else that doesn't. And my whole intention with this podcast that it just helps deepen the relationship with our own higher selves that are guiding us and loving us and helping us in every now moment. It's just sometimes we're not tuned into that frequency. And so I feel like every conversation that I have, it helps deepen that remembering that we have all of this available to us at all times. It's just about remembering it.
Yes. So yes, if anyone, you're about to go into like a stressful environment, stressful situation, you find yourself feeling stressed and you're having a hard time focusing, having a hard time staying grounded, then you can quickly go through in a few minutes. And the meditation that I guided you through is longer than that, but you can just imagine yourself, I am, think of your first and last name and everything that's going on for yourself. And then watch it fade away with love. And then I am your first name, like imagine yourself younger. Even though our inner child we think is like the youngest part of us, it's actually the oldest part of us.
Yes.
It's the most ancient part of us, right?
Yeah.
So
I learned that through going through the Sophia Code. I didn't know that, but I actually received that part of me back that the Ascended Masters were like, I was in a mystery school with them and my human self wasn't feeling safe enough or ready enough to like take care of her. And I received her back during all of my initiations within the Sophia Code. And it was the most clear experience of seeing everything that I've ever had. And I didn't know that until the Sophia Code, that's the most ancient, divine, part of us. And I find that so fascinating because that's the part that helps us be more playful and, not take everything so seriously too. And tuning into her in every now moment is where the fun and play and ease and flow comes from.
Yes. And it's so helpful to recognize that too, because we think, oh, I don't know, some of the clients that I've worked with, they want to reject the inner child. They think like, oh, that's the younger part, like I need to grow up, or like, I don't know. Yeah. There's different elements and different perspectives, but then recognizing that it's actually the oldest part of you, like then you realize the roots there and holding space for that because of it's just how powerful it is. Yeah. So you can make that the 3-minute meditation super quick. You envision yourself, I am first and last name, I am your first name, and then releasing with love. And then I am sinking in, and then you can maybe 1 or 2 ohms. And then you open your eyes and you will feel reset to go and grounded to go into whatever you're going into or whatever next activity you're going to go into.
Yeah. Totally. It's like it 0 points you where you're back in the middle of everything instead of one way or the other on stuff.
Yes.
Well, it has been such a pleasure to have you on. And that was such a gift. And I'm going to make sure that in the show notes, it says exactly where that meditation is in our talk so that listeners can come back and listen to that part over and over again.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And to all your listeners, thanks for having me and for sharing time with me. It's been such a pleasure and an honor. And thank you so much, Lark, for inviting me to share this space with you, this sacred space with you. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, I know that you'll definitely be on again because I feel like earthly things developing that our higher selves have cooked up for us. And we've got to share all the things as it all starts anchoring into our reality together.
Oh, yes. That sounds so fun. Yes, that sounds like play. I am ready for it. I'm here for it.
All right. So until we meet again, everyone, Wannessa and I are offering you so much light and so much love. And we're celebrating the divine being that we see in you. Until we meet again.
Thank you for joining me today on Heal into Happy. My prayer is that you have gained more insight into your healing journey and that you are one step closer to loving yourself more fully in this now moment. And if you could do me a favor, please leave me a 5-star review over on iTunes. My passion is empowering others on their healing journey, and with your review, you may help others struggling to heal find this message. Be sure to visit me at healintohappy.com for past episodes and more ways to connect with me. Also, please always remember that I am offering you so much love and light as I celebrate the divine sovereign being that I see in you.